This video, I'm going to be going over 5 different methods of increasing your rating on Blue Lock Rivals. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And before I actually get started into the main video, I do want to mention we're doing a bunch of style giveaways in my Discord server. Join in the description below. And yeah, let's get right into it. I want to start this off with the very first section of the video, and that is mainly talking about how actually increasing your rating works. Pretty much every single time you win a match, every single time you get an ankle breaker, or every single time you steal the ball or score a goal, there's an invisible meter that goes up, and it has like a certain threshold. It's kind of like leveling up, sort of, right? Whenever you reach a certain amount of EXP, you get level up, and this is kind of the same way it works. So if you didn't know what dictated your rating, that's kind of it. So I can't actually just give you like a random method to increase your rating, like just not how the game works. But in this video, what I'm mainly going to be doing is just giving you ways you can improve on the game so that like you don't lose the ball as much, you can actually steal the ball more, and just common mistakes that a lot of people make that I don't make, that I feel like just make it so I don't make as much mistakes. That being said, the very first tip for this video is actually a common mistake that a lot of people make, and that is playing in private servers. So like whenever you play in a private server, you're gonna lose your rating no matter what, even if you score goals or whatever. Like even if you do nothing in the private server, as long as the match is going on, you will actually lose rating. I'm not 100% sure how it specifically works because yeah, I'm not a developer, but every single time I played in a private server, I've lost rating. Like on my account, I should be rated like 107 to like 110. Like, yeah, now my rating's like 100. It went down to like 98, 99, and I had to get it back up. So like, yeah, if a developer is watching, man, I would really appreciate if you guys just move this off the game, because it's really annoying having to grind my rating back up. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to get that obvious tip out of the way, because I feel like a lot of people are definitely going to be making that mistake and then just wondering why they're losing elo. Now let's move on to the actual tips. Alright, so this is kind of obvious, but something that I feel like a lot of people need to be doing if you want to increase your rating and actually get the ball more is to just insta-lock CF, center field, like striker, because a big problem with the game is the fact that people just don't pass. So a lot of the times, if you want to actually get the ball and score goals, get MVP or whatever, you're going to need to be the CF, because if you're not going to touch the ball, I'm going to be honest. So insta-locking CF is just going to help you a lot. But with that being said, there is some advantages to not having CF, which is you're actually going to have a chance to steal the ball more, which also increases rating. And this is something that I'm not 100% sure about. I do know stealing the ball, scoring goals, and all of that increases your rating, but I'm pretty sure they have different values. So like if I score a goal or if I steal the ball, I'm going to be getting more EXP out of scoring the goal, right? So that's why I would say get CF. But if you aren't CF, then I would just recommend trying to play defense and stealing the ball as much as you can. The background footage of this video is a great example of this. A lot of the times I had to actually play left winger for this match, and the striker never actually passed the ball. So what I did was I just trailed behind him, waited for the enemy team to steal the ball from him, and then I just stole it from them. And then usually after this, I was just able to score, and this worked out really well for me. And I'm going to explain in the next section how you can actually consistently steal the ball as well, because a lot of people make this mistake and they end up losing the ball themselves. So let's just move on to that. Alright, so something that I found a lot of people do frequently in the game is actually just fear dribble. So what fear dribble is, if there's like a ton of people beside you or like a defender beside you, they'll just immediately press Q, and then their dribble is gone and they can't really do anything to stop themselves from losing the ball. So what I would do is to just wait until your opponent shows signs of them actually about to tackle you. So like if somebody starts running at me, then I'm going to press Q. But if somebody's just staring at me, or if they're not super close to me, I'm not going to press Q. So basically just be mindful of your dribble ability, because it does have a decently long cooldown, and if you end up wasting it, you're just going to be a free steal for your enemy team. And this ties into actually stealing the ball from your opponents. What I usually end up doing is I try to insinuate to my enemy that like, yo, I'm about to steal the ball from you, by just running at them. And a lot of the times they just end up wasting their Q, and then I can steal the ball from them. So what I would really recommend doing is to just straight up run at your enemy, wait till they use their dribble, and then steal immediately after that, because they can't even jump because of the end lag. And I know this sounds super basic, but it's honestly really shocking how often people fall for this, especially with abilities like Karasu, where I have an actual steal ability, so I can even bait them out with my steal ability. For the next section, I actually want to talk about Karasu and Etoya, because you can use these abilities to actually farm up rating. So let's move on to that section. Alright, so this is a tech I talked about in my other video where I went over 5 different Etoya techs, and you guys should definitely check that out as well. But basically, one thing you can do with Etoya and Karasu is pass the ball to the enemy and then immediately use your tackle or steal ability. And what this basically allows you to do is just instantly steal the ball from them, and it will count as an actual steal. And you can use this to basically farm up steals. You're actually normally playing the game, so while you're scoring goals, you're also going to be getting steals, and you'll be moving up the field faster. If you just want a better explanation as to how this really works, just check out the a Toya video, because in this video I don't really want to touch upon this too much. Next thing I want to talk about also relates to abilities, and that is using pass abilities to give assists to your teammates to actually score goals. I feel like this is considerably easier than just trying to go for goals yourself. However, the biggest downside to this is, of course, you're not really going to be gaining as much rating, right? So it kind of just depends on if you want that trade off or not, or if you even know that you're playing with like a good striker. Like if you're playing with a friend and you both want to grind rating, I'll just really recommend passing the ball between yourselves so you can both get rating while just playing the game normally. But yeah, aside from that, there isn't really too much else to say for this section, so let's move on to the final section of this video. Alright, the final section of this video is going to be mainly for goalkeepers, and I'm not going to lie, this might be bannable, so I would not recommend anybody do this, and realistically speaking, this is probably going to get patched sooner or later. But as a goalkeeper, something that you can do that I've seen goalkeepers do quite frequently is farm saves, and the way you do this is pretty simple. You just get one of your friends on the other team, you go in net, and then pretty much all they do is just pass you the ball, and the game is going to think it's a save, and by doing this, you're basically just going to be getting a ton of saves. Aside from that, I feel like even as a GK player, it's just insanely easy to climb, especially in comparison to everything else, just because you don't lose as much. I'm not 100% sure if you lose elo from actually losing a game. I think you do, but if you don't, because a lot of people say you don't, I think you do. If you don't, then as a GK, you can't really get ankles broken and you can't steal the ball. All you do is just save shots. So if you spend the entire match saving shots, you're just going to be gaining elo instead of losing it. I'm not 100% sure if you lose anything by letting the ball in, but I'm pretty sure you don't. So just generally speaking, if you do want to just overinflate the number, you could just play GK. That's another option. But as an outfield player, another thing that I see people do is also just farm steals by either using their friends or using alt accounts. So pretty much you just give your friend the ball, you steal it from them, and then you just rinse and repeat that till you get a bunch of elo. Again, I don't know how effective this is because I haven't really done this myself. I've honestly never even seen anybody do this, but like I'm 90% sure every single motherfucker on the leaderboard that you see with like 2,500 ankle breakers, like I wouldn't be surprised if at this point they have like over 1 million ankle breakers. I'm pretty sure this is the thing that those guys are doing. They're just AFK macroing this, because I can't really fathom any other way that you would be able to like get that much ankle breakers. But yeah, that's like the main way I'm pretty sure those guys farm elo in order to just up their number. You can also use this to actually grind up your own rating. I might make a separate video talking about this entirely because I feel like this is kind of somewhat of an issue for the game. I don't know if the developers know about this or even care about this, and I'm not sure if every single person in like the top 100 leaderboard does this, but I would not be surprised if a good number of those guys are doing this just because of how easy it is to farm by just playing with a friend. That is it for the video, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe if you learned something, and yeah, see ya.